Everybody hit the like button. Welcome to Pound for Pound Sports Entertainment. It's your host, F. Merritt. We got the champ, Josh Dyer, in the building. What's going on, champ?
Not much, man. Just knock out that first workout of the day. Another podcast up. Dude, body's sore, man. We're taking this training camp very seriously. What are you riding in, bro? Is that a double panoramic sunroof you're in?
No, it's just regular one. It's got a little BMW, extra.
God damn, that thing's nice. Holy shit. I
Yeah.
like that.
But yeah, man. Shoot. I mean, got the fight coming up. Bkfc 84, November 15th. The rematch, Lorenzo, the Juggernaut Hunt is going down. What can the fans expect from this rematch compared to the first fight?
A lot more movement. I learned the hard way that standing in front of Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt is a really bad idea. That dude, just like the real Juggernaut, they build momentum when they start moving in a straight line, man. So, yeah, we're not going to do that again. So I redeveloped a whole new style after that fight. I'm a lot more mobile now when I fight orthodox fighters. You can see that when I fought Dakota Cochran. You see that whenever I fought William Albrecht. I move, southpaws, I fight him a little differently. I'm the southpaw slayer, but with Lorenzo, yeah, you're going to see a lot of movement patterns here. I'm going to lure him into some traps and he's going to get knocked out. So it's going to be good.
Oh, okay. You predicting the first round? Like, what's the prediction?
Damn, I don't think I'm that cool. Nah, it'll probably be a third or fourth round knockout, because I got to wear his ass out. Like he's still the Juggernaut, so he's going to be fresh for 1, 2, maybe 3 rounds. But in 4 or 5, he, just like when he fought Lombard, he gets tired, he gets slow, and I'm fresh, dude. I'm gonna be ready to roll around 4 or 5 if it goes that long. But I hit hard, man.
Yes, sir.
I hit really hard, so I'm gonna be looking to catch him off of the angles, my switch steps, my shuffle hooks. A lot of tricks I got in my sleeve now.
Now you fought him about 3 fights ago. Your last fight was against Mike Richmond.
Yep.
Congratulations on that. That was a phenomenal performance. So that's where you won the title right there. With a rematch with a guy that you've shared the ring with, do you think that is a advantage, especially since it was like about 3, 4 fights ago, or do you
Dude,
think
it's
it's
going to
kind
be
of
a
a disadvantage?
huge advantage. It's going to be a huge advantage because I had no idea how hard that guy hit the first time. Like, I had no idea. I mean, it was my second fight in BKFC, man. Like, I thought that I was the guy, like I was all thinking I was cool and shit. And I didn't know that Hunt was really that good. So whenever I got in the ring with him, I learned the hard way that dude is a fucking savage. So now I've had years to perfect a style designed specifically for the purpose of beating him. Like if you look at what I did when I fought, Warren the first time, and then after that I fought Hunt, look at what I did when I fought Cochran next. Completely different fighter. Like I changed everything. I spent 9 months in my basement just rewriting a brand new style. And I was like, all right, what do I got to do to beat Hunt? So I was like, oh, I got to move. I can't be in front of him. I got to be switching stances. I got to be throwing hooks when I switch those stances. I got to be tricky, So yeah, now the ultimate test. I mean, I've beaten everybody with this style now. And the test is to see if it can be a Hunt, which is what it was designed for in the first place. So time to see if I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid again, or if I actually am a decent creator of styles.
Okay. Do you think he's overlooking you? Because I mean, social media, he's been posting stuff, talking trash and stuff. Do you think he's making a mistake by overlooking you this time around?
I think there's a small chance that he's overlooking me, because I know he's smart. I know he's got high fight IQ. You don't end up where he's at without being a genius in the sport. I think he's playing the game. I think he's just talking shit. Because I can't imagine that he's that dumb. Like, he's not a dumb fighter. He's a really intelligent fighter. So I think he's just doing it for the media coverage and talking shit, running his mouth, because we have to. If you want to get the coverage in the press, you got to go for it. I don't think he's overlooking me, but if he is, it is a nightmarish mistake because I'm not overlooking him. I know exactly what he's capable of, and I mean, granted, like there's a chance I might be a little bit because I'm like, dude, the guy's like 43 now. He's hasn't fought in a couple of years. He's I mean, he just snapped his arm, so that's recovering, and there's a lot of things that could make it to where he is not as good of a fighter as he was when he fought me. And I have changed light years from whenever I fought him last. So I think that it's I think we're both too smart for that, but if anything, I think he's just going to be outmatched. It's he created a monster that night. Like he beat
Okay.
my ass so hard that I spent a long time. I went to the emergency room puking up blood, fractured face, eyeball basically exploded in my eye. It was insane. 9 months trying to learn how to put a sentence together again. I'm seeing white, green dots floating all over the place. And like it was an embarrassing night for me. It was an embarrassing year for me after that. And I take it very seriously. I'm grateful for what he did for me. Like he showed me what it means to go against a superior athlete in every sense of the word. And now I understand that I can't always expect to be the bigger, badder guy. I have to have some tricks up my sleeve. And so that's what I've got now.
Okay. I respect that. I really do respect it. I respect the grind. I respect the fact that you can bounce back from a loss and become world champion, man. You know what I'm saying? So salute to you, man.
Thank you.
Uh, with him going up to heavyweight and then trying to come back down, I think he suffered an injury and he wasn't able to get the rematch with Kamosi. So now he's coming back down to 185. Do you think that's an advantage or a disadvantage for him?
Um, I think it's going to play a little bit to the disadvantage for him because I mean, I cut a lot of weight too, man. Like I cut from like 210, sometimes 220, down to 185, So I mean, I could be cutting 25 to 35 pounds and that almost kills me. So I mean, I don't know what he's walking around at right now, but I'm an expert at cutting weight. And I know he almost died whenever he got to 85 last time. So
Yeah.
my guess is he's not going to make the weight cut, which means I'm going to take 20 to 30% of his fight purse to accept him at whatever weight he wants, because I will accept it. I can make no mistake. I am going to accept this fight, but I'm going to get paid. And I think that just works to my advantage. Like I'm gonna roll through. I'm gonna whoop his ass. I'm gonna make him cut as much weight as he possibly can until he starts negotiating the money. I want him to suffer a little bit for trying to come back down to my weight division. But at the same time, I'm going to be lenient because I didn't have a fight. When Mundell backed out, I did not have a fight. I was not going to get paid a dime for this camp. So I'm gonna reward him a little bit for taking that fight on short notice because I wouldn't have done that. Like I would not have on 4 or 5 weeks notice taken a fight, against the world champion. Like after not fighting for 2 years, I wouldn't have done that, but he did. So I'm gonna take care of him for that. So I'm not gonna be a dickhead.
And you just mentioned Dave Mundell. What happened? Because that fight, everybody was ready for that fight to go. Y'all had a face off, everything was done, and then now it didn't happen. What happened?
Yeah, neither of us signed a contract. We had no idea. We were both surprised when we saw that promo come across the screen after the Perry fight. Like I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like I didn't sign a contract. I was still in the negotiation phase. Like where I was trying to get more money, and they hadn't accepted it yet. Then they pushed the fight, so I'm like, "Did they accept the deal? Are they trying to use this like for just free promo?" And so we were confused. But we started our fight camp hard just in case. But we were wondering like, why isn't this contract coming through? And then the fight fell through. So I was like, I think they just used it for free advertising, which I can't say it's very ethical, but it's a great business move, taking that free advertising and trying to, generate something out of that to maybe bump something else up. But either that or he didn't like the money, but I can say safely that I would have destroyed Mundell. Like that would have been an absolute murder show. The dude's on like a 7-fight win streak. He's number one pound for pound, supposedly. And that's as long as Hunt's not around. And he already had like a Perry fight almost locked in. So I was like, bro, I'm coming for the Perry fight. Why would you accept this fight with me? That's retarded. Like, you're not even the biggest 75er, and I'm the biggest 85er when Hunt's not around. So I'm like, that's a dumbass business decision, bro. Like, you stand everything to lose, and I have everything to gain. Like, you just should sit back and chill and get the Perry fight and not lose it. Because if I beat you, I'm punting to pound for pound number one. Now I get Perry. I'm for sure going to get into this $15 million tournament if it's even a thing. And so when he pulled out, I was like, damn, it's the first time Mundell's made a smart decision. I was thinking the guy might have been a little bit too redneck, but I was like, he made an excellent level chess move. So I was like, I appreciate that. Guy's an intelligent guy, I guess. I was a little bummed out at first because I was like, damn, this guy's accepting it. What a retard. I'm like, come on, man. You already got the Perry fight. Just take it, dumbass. Like, I'm just trying to rob him from you. But yeah, I don't know exactly what went down, but I was doing a little bit of shit talking, running my mouth a little bit, just promoting the fight. But yeah, I guess we'll never really know.
Okay. You did mention the was it $15 million tournament that they got going on? When
Yeah,
is that supposed to start, and what was your reaction when you heard about it?
I was actually really surprised that it was going down, but it's supposed to be altogether a $25 million tournament. First place gets 15, second place gets a milli, third through ninth gets like a $500,000 kind of thing. I don't know that it's a real thing, man. Like, I'm just saying that, like, they made it a big deal. They're talking about it, but it wouldn't be the first time they've used advertising for something to gain media attention that didn't materialize. But it's supposed to start in March, and they're talking about it like it's going to happen. So I need to win against Hunt, because I need to be in this tournament, because I'm the lightest weight division they're accepting into this tournament. So it's like, I got to win. I got to be the champ whenever March comes around if I want a chance to this. And beating Hunt would be a great opportunity for that. So it's going to be a test because I know, like, I tell everyone, like, I'm the greatest in the world right now, but Hunt's the greatest of all time. So it's time to figure out who's the best, and for a long time, the answer was Hunt, but I've done a lot of work to change some things. So we'll see. The fight will prove who the best really is.
Okay. If you beat Hunt, we'll just say when you beat Hunt, right? You get your revenge. Is that bigger than having the title?
Oh, absolutely. To me, it is because Hunt destroyed me, dude. The dude put me in the emergency room, took a piece of my soul, stole my man card. Like, he beat the fucking brakes off of me. And now I'm like, it left some mental scars, dude. Like, it messed with me. When you get your ass whooped like that, it messes with you. And so for me, this is an opportunity to go back and take something that was taken from me. And nothing, I'm not mad about it. We both signed the contract. We both agreed that we were going to see who was better. We both thought we were better. And it turns out it was him. But this is just a rare opportunity in my life to get a rematch that I've asked for. Like, I've never gotten a rematch before that I wanted. I've given people rematches that I've beaten all the time because I never say no, but nobody's ever said yes to me for a rematch. And Hunt was the first one to do that. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to get in there and avenge a loss that I have. And so I'm just really excited for this one.
Okay. Now, I went back and watched that fight like the other day. I noticed during the first knockdown, you had an issue with the contacts. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, you had an issue with the contacts like for like what until like the fourth round. Is that still an issue, or is all that handled?
Yeah, that's handled. I got LASIK after that fight. But yeah,
Okay.
before the fight started, I had negative 5.75 vision. I've had to wear contacts for all 30 of my fights up until then because I just couldn't see, man. Like, I had really bad eyes. Like, I used to not even know who my mom was when she was picking me up at school. I'm like walking around to every blonde chick. I'm like, are you my mom? I'm like, I was blind, bro. So I had to wear contacts, but it was never an issue because I never really got my contacts knocked out before. So when I fought Hunt, that was the first time I'd ever really experienced like that. I mean, and it happened right away. As soon as the round started, he hit me with an overhand right, like right out of the bell, right when they rang the bell, bing, boom, couldn't see right away. So the whole first round, I was just trying to survive, then he caught me with that punch to the throat, which knocked me out. Basically like an Austin Powers Juno chop to the neck. Freaking, I didn't know that it was a real. I used to think that was a fake ass punch. I always thought if you got punched in the throat, it wouldn't do that. Now I know the Juno chop is real. So I woke up on the mat and I'm like, what the fuck? The referee's like 7, 8. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I stand up and he's like, do you want to continue? I'm like, yeah, sure. I look over, I see Hunt just standing there. I'm like, what the fuck is Hunt doing in the ring with me? And then all of a sudden I realized, I'm like, I can't fucking see. And I look over and I see my team hold my contact case. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh God, we got to go. And so luckily the round was over and I ran over and I got my contact in. But it was a problem all night. Like, I'd never faced someone that had so much power that they could just knock it out every fucking time he touched me. So it was a bad night, but he would have beat me even if I didn't have contacts. And I'll say that to anyone. Like, he was a better fighter than me that night, but granted, he didn't need any help. That fucking contact was just extra. That was so shitty. But yeah, I got my eyes fixed right after that when I destroyed Dakota Cochran, ran through Warren again, friggin' Albrecht, Richmond. Like, it was a big deterrent to get hit in the past because I I always stood a chance of losing it. But we went, got the LASIK. Now I can see. Now I'm not worried, and I'm really excited. So I got no more excuses. I'm just ready to get in there and show everybody what I got.
Okay. If you beat him, can we possibly see a trilogy?
I would guarantee it. Yeah, I would. I would make it happen. You know, because once again, like who's better than Hunt in that division? If I win, like who's better than Hunt? Yeah, Warren again. I'm like, dude. Not only have I beaten Warren twice, I beat the guy that beat him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, and I beat the guy that beat me, that beat him, that beat you twice. It's like there's levels to this game. So I mean, and I know Warren's still the number one contender. So it's like, I mean, really, it's just going to be a lot of rematches for me, which is okay, but it's not like they're going to be high paying events. I'm trying to get Mike Perry because I'm trying to get paid. You know, like I'm trying to get Yoel Romero because I want to get some cash in my bank account. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and cash goes quick. You know, you get a $60,000 paycheck. You know, 30 goes to your team right off the bat, and then Uncle Sam's like, "Yeah, we want another 15. Now you're down to 15," and it's like, "All right, now I gotta like go. Okay, well, I got 15 to show for this, and I just worked my ass off for 2 months to train for this camp, which meant that I wasn't working as much. You know, I was doing 4 hours a day training. So that 4 hours a day I could have been working. So 15 doesn't really go too far, man, with the expensive diet that I'm on and shit. So I need to be making like a couple hundred K if I'm trying to get this shit to be a thing. Cause by the end of the day, I mean, even at say at 500K, I'm going to walk out with like maybe 1 or 200 afterwards. So I'm like, I'm just trying to get some money, dude. Like I need this. I've been doing this for like 15 years now. So I'm just ready to get some cash.
Absolutely. I mean, you the champ, so I mean, hey, pay the man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You just mentioned Mike Perry. Now, at the Champions Conference down in Hollywood, Florida, you guys almost got into it. You had to be separated by security. What
Yeah.
is it about Mike Perry that rubs everybody the wrong way?
I think it's just because they know he's the money fight. You know, it's all that
Mm-hmm.
is. I like Perry, dude. I'll tell everybody I like Perry, you know, but like if there's a camera on us and there's a lot of people watching it, I hate Perry, you know, and Perry hates me, you
Yeah,
know. But as soon as that camera's off and we're backstage, we're fucking joking and shit. We're like, dude, good job, bro. Nice.
yeah.
I'm like, you fucking sold that shit, bro. Good thing Yoel was there. Cause I was about to fucking have to now what do you do? Well, what's the dog do when the fucking catches the mailman? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's only cool when there's somebody holding you back. But yeah, we run our mouths, we talk shit. We have to, you know, that's how we sell fights. He's the GOAT when it comes to selling fights and shit. You know, so I try to learn from him. But dude, we're cool. And if you saw our Instagram messages, like we're ballers, dude. Like, we're above the shit talk now. It's just, you know, we're just here to have a good time, get
Yeah,
paid.
I respect it. Is Mike Perry the face of BKFC?
Oh, 100%. And you got to give respect where respect's due. You know, I would say that Lorenzo's the skill. You know, you got, you know, Perry's the face of it. He's one of the biggest reasons why the sport's made it, dude. Like he deserves that respect and credit. But obviously, we're all trying to build hype fights over here so we can get some cash too, because that's just the way you got to play the game. You know, fighting these contenders is cool, but you don't really make any money doing it. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm just trying to get that rolling. But yeah, Perry's a fucking stud, dude. What he did for this sport was incredible. You know, and he didn't have easy fights, dude. Like he beat some legit motherfucking guys, like Luke Rockhold. I mean, Luke Rockhold, come on, man. He's a world champion UFC. I mean, he came
Mm-hmm.
over and got his ass whooped. You know, found out the hard way. You know what this is all about. And he fought Thiago Alves, who was a world champion in the UFC. And so I'm like, the dude's done some incredible things. So you got to give him credit. So I'm just hoping that I just want to be the one to take his record, you know, take his O. I want to be the first one so to take that hype train away. But I think Mundell's going to get that luxury first, which blows. But then that just means I got to try to fight his ass.
I mean, they've been calling for it for years.
Yeah, he's earned it. I'm just trying to poach that sale, you know. Like I'm just trying to slide in and be like, I want it, but Mundell's earned it, dude. So I'm like, yeah, we'll let them take it. He'll probably get the violence belt, and then I'll talk some shit. Probably won't get it, and then we'll just figure something else out.
Now you mentioned Yoel Romero. What was your opinion on his first performance in BKFC?
He was a terrible fighter. You know, like he's not who he used to be. You know, like he used to be one of the baddest, scariest dudes that ever fucking walked the planet. But dude's 48 now. But the good thing is that he still looks jacked. He looks like a fucking dude that's been doing shoulder shrugs in a dungeon for like 40 years. You know, so when I beat that dude, if they'll let me do it, which they probably won't, it looks like I beat somebody, right? But like I really just beat a decrepit old dude that can't even move his neck. You know, you ever see a dude like so jacked? It's like this is his head movement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, I can't miss that. Like, dude, they're either gonna. I mean, I probably can't knock him out because his neck is like.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would get a doctor stoppage. You
But
know, you're like,
why would you think that they wouldn't give you the fight?
because he's got a following. You know, he makes them money. The more he wins, he's just like Perry. You know, when you show up with a giant media following, they're going to give you an easy fight. You win that fight because all your pay-per-view buyers are going to make money for Bkfc. If a nobody beats the ticket seller, then less people are going to buy tickets next time. So they've got to groom him and let him do his thing until he can't fight anymore, in which case they'll let one of their guys finally beat him so they could try to poach some of those pay-per-view sales from him. But right now he's a hot commodity because he looks like he can kill somebody. So they're going to let him do that. But which is a good business move. Like I run my own business. I understand how that works. And so I can't hate anybody on it. But I wouldn't give Yoel to me if I was running Bkfc. I'd be like, fuck that. I'm going to let this dude beat some losers for a while and soak up the rest of his pay-per-view buys until he no longer is a viable option. And then only then will I allow somebody to beat him in my sport. So that way when he walks out the door, maybe 1 million of his 5 million followers starts following this guy now.
Absolutely. Now you just spoke on the business of just fighting in general. How important is the business when it comes to doing media, when it comes to the sponsors, when it comes to understanding why certain fights aren't going to happen or why they are going to happen? How important is knowing the business, and what message do you have to younger fighters coming up and how important it is?
That's a fucking great question, brother. That's a great question. It is extremely important to understand how business works when you're coming up, right? Because you've got a fighter say that he's been sitting on the sideline for a year. He has no followers. He's a good fighter, but doesn't make any pay-per-view sales. Okay. So he's going to make $5,000. He's going to sell $2,000 in tickets. So the company's going to lose $3,000 by letting him on the show. He's over here running his mouth, trying to get a fight, trying to stand out, trying to do his thing. All right. The company's got 10,000 other dudes behind him that are willing to do it for $1,000. Right. So there's no reason for the company to do that. And a lot of these guys can, suck, right? So they can come in and lose to a ticket seller and it works out. If you don't make ticket sales, but you're a good fighter like I was, and then they bring you in and then you beat their ticket seller like I did, it doesn't do them any favors. When I beat Dakota Cochran, Feldman was pissed. And you could hear it in the after, like when he was doing the interview, he didn't congratulate me. He was mad because he's like, damn, he's like, Nate Shook keeps getting our ticket sellers beat. And I was upset because I was like, damn, I thought he'd be proud of me. Why the fuck would he be proud of me? I just costed him money. So you got to understand that this is the long game. If you don't sell tickets, you need to play your part. You need to come in and be a feeder fish and lose, and you'll get more calls, or you come in and win in such an incredible fucking way that you can't help but have people want to watch you again. They call in, they request. That's why when I showed up to fight Jared Warren the first time, I ran that dude down like a fucking like Freddy Krueger and Jason combined chasing a dude because I knew I had to make an impression. You can't just show up and win. You have to show up because they'd invested in him. Like they wanted him to win. He was a firefighter. It was on 9/11. Firefighters Day. His sister just died. There's a lot of things that so now they made a commercial for him before the fight. So they wanted him to win. So not only do I need to steal that victory, I need to do it in such a way that people are like, holy fuck. Okay. So now I costed them money. So what do they reward me with? Lorenzo Hunt for my second fight to teach me a lesson, right? So they're like, all right, motherfucker, you say you want to come in and fuck up our money. Now we're going to do this. So I went in, but I made it 5 rounds with Lorenzo Hunt, which was not expected. It's the first person to ever go 5 rounds with Lorenzo Hunt and one of the only people to ever go 5 rounds with Lorenzo Hunt. So at least they know I'm a feeder fish. I'm a good punching bag, right? So they can put me in these other guys. But then I changed my whole style and destroyed Dakota Cochran. And now they're like, fuck, this guy's cost us money on 3 different occasions now. So now we might as well make some money back. All right, let's go and put him in with Riggs. We had the no contest, and then I went in. And it's just like you gotta understand that you gotta play the long game. You got to look at this as like a 5-year strategy. You can't be running your mouth. You can't get up there and call BKFC a bunch of bitches like Mallow did back in the day. Run your mouth, piss them all off when you're a nobody and you can't fight and you don't sell tickets. And like, you gotta offer them something, because they can turn anybody into a superstar. So why you? So if they'd be better off turning a UFC fighter into a superstar that's already got 5 million followers. It's a better business plan. And if you don't have that, you need to have something special about you. And so with me, I just kept winning. That's it. I kept winning. I kept coming forward. I did it incredibly, 100% finish rate. I thanked Bare Knuckle for the opportunities. I didn't cry every time I didn't get a knockout bonus, even though I deserved it every time. And that's what I would say. It's a business. Pretend it was your business, and then ask yourself, are you a good business decision? Honestly, and that's the question that most people don't ask. You'll have 1,000 fighters pissed off, running their mouth that they're not getting fights, but they offer nothing. So that's what I would say.
Okay, I respect that. What goes through your mind when you have like that you just mentioned, like MMA guys, UFC guys with the big followings, or boxers like Austin Trout that have the following that come over to bare knuckle? Are you guys just ready to just beat them and take their following and kind of capitalize off of that?
That's
Or
our only chance. If you're lucky enough to get the call to face a superstar like that, you cannot lose. You have to find a fucking way to win, because that is your only chance at jumping up into the contender like spots, right? Like, you gotta take that opportunity and you have to win. And yeah, like, that's why it's like, no matter who it is, if it's a big name guy in this sport, if you want a future here, you have to beat somebody huge. You have to do it. And just remember, you're gonna piss them off, but that's fine, because if you piss them off enough and cost them enough money, now they're gonna bring you in and make some money on you. I don't know like what the betting world looks like, but sometimes if you cost them 100 grand, maybe they'll bring you in and bet on you. Like, I don't know how they do all that shit, but you got to find a way to make them some money, and or else you're going to get replaced. So
you're at 185. Would you go up to 205 and try to become double champ like Lorenzo Hunt and Luis Palomino did?
um I don't have a lot of desire to go up to 205 to try to become champion, because I hold a sizable advantage over everybody at 185. I look at this as logically as I can. I'm a huge 85er,
Yes.
and I've got a really good thing going here. I stand a good chance of beating almost anybody at 85 without taking much damage. Going up to 205, I lose the height advantage. I lose the reach advantage. I lose like the neck thickness, the jaw advantage. There's a lot of things I lose. And now it's a lot more of an even fight, which means it's going to be a dog fight, which means I will lose my longevity in this sport at 205. I'm going to get busted up. I'm going to be getting hit way fucking harder. And at 85, I could stretch this shit out for like 5-6 years. As long as I beat Hunt, then I can do it at 85. So I'm trying to be smart here. Yes, it's cool. Legacy is cool and all. Hunt did it. I'm proud of him for doing that. But eventually you run into some big fucking dudes, man. And granted, I've fought big dudes in MMA, like 6'5" guys cutting from 240, bigger than Mr. Clean, and I've dropped them like it was nothing. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm just trying to do it logically now. Like, I have a future. Like, I don't want to be 60 years old, retarded, sitting in a wheelchair with dementia or something. Like, and at 85, I stand a good chance of not having that problem. So that's what I'm trying to do.
I respect that. How many times would you want to compete in a year? We talking no damage, because obviously you guys take a lot of damage. A jab will cut you. But for you, what is a good amount of times you would like to compete?
I think 3 would be a great amount. Three times a year would be fine for me. 2 times is okay. 1 time, it's not ideal for longevity. Like, you're never going to be a somebody fighting once a year. 5 fights in 5 years is not jack shit. You remember the UFC when all of a sudden Donald Cerrone pops up, and then it's like every fucking fight you turn on, Donald Cerrone is the main event. And it's just like Donald Cerrone, Donald Cerrone, Donald Cerrone, Donald Cerrone. And all of a sudden, he's got a massive fucking following, right? That's because he didn't give a shit. He fought all the time. and won all the time, and got all the bonuses, all the money, everything was going good for that guy. If you want to be a superstar, you've got to stay relevant, and people forget you in about 2 to 3 months. You're forgotten. You're old news. So every 3 months, you need to get your face back up there again. And you need to remind people that you're still relevant. Buy my shirts, buy my gear, share my posts. My post activity skyrockets around my fight. But by 2 to 3 months later, I might not get one fucking like on a post. You know, my relevancy is gone. Okay. So I need to be able to stay every 3 would be ideal.
What do you think about like social media stars wanting to come in and try Bkfc?
It's great for the sport. It's fantastic because it gets us viewership, gets us pay-per-view sales, gives the company more money. They can pay us more money, and it means they're more likely to succeed. At the end of the day, we need bare knuckle to succeed. As much as us fighters want to get paid, if they were figuratively to pay us what we believe we deserve, but then go bankrupt, now none of us are getting paid. So I need bare knuckle to make money. I need them to be rich. I need them to fucking become billionaires in this sport so that they can afford to pay us more later. So yes, bring in all the social media stars, bring in anybody that wants to be a somebody, any rapper. I don't give a fuck. It's good for us. It looks stupid, but it's great for the company. So I would say bring them all in. I don't care if it's Bryce Mitchell, fucking young blood, don't matter. Come on in and bring your fan base with you. So at the end of the day, like, this is the best sport I've ever fought in. Like, for my style, this is it. Like, I would not be competitive in the UFC, and I wouldn't be competitive in boxing or kickboxing, but in bare knuckle, I am very competitive. It's very good for me here. So I need this sport to survive, or else I'm fucked. And then I got to go and do the trigon, and fight in the triangle and shit. Like, it's not my style is great because of my movement patterns now, and getting stuck in a corner is a bitch. So I'm like, I don't really want to do the trigon. You see a lot more damage done over there because people get stuck in corners, and I know way better than get stuck in a corner. And yes, I could always be the guy that puts them in a corner, but there's always the chance that I throw a huge right, they duck, and I fly into a corner. I turn around and they're blocking my exit, and I'm like, oh fuck, getting out of this is going to be costly.
Mm-hmm. What's your best technique as far as conditioning your knuckles?
I've never really conditioned my knuckles. I just have very big hands. I was blessed with these like Hulk-sized hands. I don't know if you can see here.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
I got some big fucking hands, and the best technique for conditioning them is just breaking them. Like, I used to break my hands every fight, because I throw hard. They say that you don't throw as hard in bare knuckle, but I do. So I used to break my right hand every fight, but now it doesn't break anymore. And in the process, now my middle knuckle sticks out like really fucking far. So now it digs holes in people's faces. So now cuts are a problem. Not only is my hand not breaking, but now when I throw a punch, I could leave an inch crater in somebody's head. So, which, I mean, if you're big into like science and shit, surface area is huge, right? Like, if I hit you with my whole fist, it divides the force of my entire punch amongst this whole area. But now if you're just getting hit by this one knuckle because it sticks out further than the rest, now the surface area is smaller. The whole punch is delivered here. Now there's a hole in your head, and now you're bleeding. Now the ref is threatening to stop the fight. The doctor's over there going, I don't know, man. So for me, it works. It works really well. But yeah, I just had to break my hand like 3 or 4 times, and now it works good. But I'm sure there's smarter ways to do it, but my hands don't break anymore. So I'm good with that.
Okay. How much of a blessing is it to have Conor McGregor come over and be part owner of Bkfc?
I think it's huge because, I mean, he's got a massive following. If you think about the most successful UFC fighter of all time, it's absolutely McGregor, without a doubt. There's nobody that comes fucking close to him. He jumped into boxing, made a hundo, comes over here, and now he's, he brought all of his media coverage. He's the more viewership that Conor McGregor can get by using his own viewership to boost bare knuckle is the more money that he makes for his brands, for his thing. It's mutually beneficial for him to do this. and it works great for us, you know. So I'm like, I'm happy to have him in the sport. The more he's in there running his mouth, the more shit people talk about McGregor and whatever his past is, the more people watch. You know, so I'm like, let's get it, dude. Conor McGregor, thank you. I appreciate what you're doing. Mike Perry, thank you. I appreciate what you're doing. You know, I'm very grateful for this because once again, this is a sport that works very well for my body structure and my style. So I needed to survive. And when we have these superstars coming over, especially like McGregor, like this makes it very freaking cool for us because people tune in. You know, every time there's a press conference and McGregor's there, people watch it, so they watch me. You know, normally I'd only have 2,000 people watching my shit. Now we got like 50,000.
You there?
Yep. Sorry, I had a phone call come through. So I should put do not. Let me put do not disturb on here for a second.
All right.
I thought I put that on already. That was my bad. All right, we're good. All right.
But Conor McGregor has already, said he's wants to come to BKFC eventually. I don't know how many fights he has left on with UFC, maybe one or two. But how does he do in BKFC, in your opinion?
Personally, I don't know. I don't know that he should fight bare knuckle. I think if I were him, I would set up an easy fight, beat somebody's ass, and just rake in all the pay-per-view money. You know, and he's gonna make money for him, his businesses, bare knuckle, fucking all of us are gonna benefit from that. But I think he's good. You know, like I don't know how old McGregor is. I think he's around 40, right? Maybe a little younger than that. So, I mean, all our champions are roughly that age. I mean, he could do really well. He's really a good fighter. I think he would probably do all right. I think he'd be doing good, but I just don't think that he has to. Any fights that he does do wouldn't be for the paycheck for that night. It would be for all of his shares to go up in value that he owns in the company. So the more he does that, the more his shares are going to get value. So I'm like, that's a great opportunity. But I think he since he's the owner, he would make sure that he sets up a fight that he's going to for sure win.
Absolutely. So, who's on your hit list?
Well, I would say Mike Perry, Yoel Romero. Got to get through Lorenzo Hunt. They got Darren Till's name popping around, the Killer Gorilla. I'd like to have him come through there. I don't know, man. Like I just whoever's got the most views, man. Like Jake Paul's fucking way up there, dude. If I could get fucking Jake Paul in there and beat his ass, I would absolutely do that. I think he knocks me out in boxing, to be honest. But I think in bare knuckle, I'd fuck his world up. So it's just a different thing, but he would never do it. Like I would have to go to boxing, you know, go make a quick 500K to win or 6 million to lose, whichever. And, but I think my integrity would cause me to want to win that one. You know, I think I would be the one to want to shut him up. I think I have what it takes, but, I don't know. Jake's good. He's way better than people think, but ideally that's my ultimate goal is to fight Jake Paul. So get in there, get rich, get a big fucking paycheck, go buy a nice chunk of land, get a couple houses out there, start my resistance, you know, start growing all my freaking cows, my chickens, everything, and start building a little community out there, letting people come out there. I'll pay for everything, dude. I'll be like, all right, I just need people here, you know, help us work the land. We say no when ICE tries rolling through. Say fuck all those guys. You're not coming on our property. Build a big wall. Build a fortress, bro. I'm looking to stand up to this fucking regime that's trying to come through around here, bro. And then eventually, just somebody's got to save these people, dude. And I don't see a lot of people standing up. So I dedicated my life to calling this bullshit out. But yeah, I think fighting Jake Paul would be a great opportunity to freaking get some ammunition bought.
What was your reaction when Jake Paul beat Mike Perry?
I could see it coming, because Mike Perry is very slow. Like he's a great bare knuckle fighter. He can take the damage, but he's very slow. And Jake's very fast. And he can hit hard as fuck, with his overhands. And I knew that Perry was going to get caught with those. So I told everyone that Perry was going to lose that fight. And I'm like, but that's just because people can't get over the YouTube star thing, but he uses that YouTube fame to generate money to fucking pay for the best world-class coaches on earth. He's got an incredible diet, perfect routine. He's got a big brother that fucking wants to beat his ass too. They're amazing athletes. and they're very smart, and they have enough money to where they can do it full time. So I saw that coming. I think I would have been more competitive in that fight, but I can't guarantee it would have been any different. But yeah, I saw that coming. You know, I mean, he has beaten world champions. I mean, he did beat Silva. He did beat Woodley twice. He did beat Askren, which anybody could have seen that one coming. I mean, he's beaten guys that like being good at fighting doesn't just go away. You know, like he's beaten really skilled fighters. So he did all right against Fury. I thought he might have inked that one out, but I don't know. I think if he would have had a couple more rounds, he might have been able to get it. But I don't know. Boxing's different.
Absolutely. November 15th, Bkfc 84, Lorenzo, the Juggernaut Hunt. You get him in the rematch, defending your title. What is the final message you have for Lorenzo Hunt?
Hey, brother, if you make it to the fourth round, bro, it's going to be real bad for you. I got a lot of cardio, a lot of power, a lot of moves, a lot of angles, dude. I understand. I see you being competitive for the first three, but 4 and 5, if it goes that long, you're going to get finished. It's for sure going to happen. I'm too fast. I'm too slick now. I got way too much power. I can fight going backwards, going forwards. I'm going to find that chin, bro. And it's going to be a really short night, or it's going to be a freaking long night for you. Either way, I win in rounds 4 and 5. So that means you got to win all three in the first one if it goes to decision. But I haven't let a fight go to decision in 12 years, bro. I've got a 100% knockout ratio. I'm coming for that knockout, dude. I got a big ass bonus coming my way if I can knock you out unconscious, which is very lucrative. So I'm coming for it. So you better be ready. But thank you very much for taking this fight on short notice. I'll try to be merciful and knock you out in the first round, and we'll set up that trilogy and let you get a full camp in next time.
All right. Bkfc champion Josh Dyer, we appreciate you for your time, champ. Thank you so much, man.
An absolute pleasure, brother. Thank you so much for having me on.